Today marks 5 years since the murder of George Floyd, and there are planned vigils, religious services, and rallies happening across the country and right here in the Bay Area as part of what's being called a day of action. Right now, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is in prison, convicted of killing Floyd by kneeling on his neck for more than 9 minutes. Today, Floyd's family gathered at his gravesite in Houston for a memorial service led by Reverend Al Sharpton. Here in Tampa Bay, demonstrators gathered at Curtis Hixson Park to mark the 5th anniversary of Floyd's death. 10 Tampa Bay's Angelicia Bruton spoke with people who were there about the changes that they believe are still necessary 5 years later.
On the 5-year George Floyd anniversary, we're here to stand in firm solidarity with all victims of brutal police violence.
Gareth Dawkins says they sprung into action following George Floyd's death.
People had no other distractions. People had nothing else really at the time, and it was pretty much very much in front of them, and it was kind of the question of, so what are we going to do about this?
Tampa Mayor Jane Castor and former police chief Brian Dugan implemented citizen board recommendations like banning chokeholds, issuing warnings before shootings, and banning shootings into cars. Tampa police said many of these policies already existed but were not formally documented. Tampa's review board was forced to disband last year after Governor Ron DeSantis signed a law that prevented them from investigating police misconduct.
Not surprised. Even though the review board that we did have in Tampa wasn't great, it at least was something. It was a starting point. But yet again, it was like another setback.
Demonstrators say after 5 years, they are still filled with the same emotions and they still have the same message, and that's to create change.
It does not feel like we're progressing at all, seeing, the attacks that Trump is dealing out to every different group of marginalized people.
Demonstrators say President Donald Trump's cuts to programs that support diversity, equity, and inclusion is a huge loss when it comes to creating change.
It feels like, every day there's a new attack, and that's why it's even more important for us to, join together and find unity.
Angelicia Bruton, 10 Tampa Bay.
In February, the St. Petersburg Police Department cut its Civilian Police Review Committee in half and changed its focus. Now the group only meets to discuss policy and police procedures. Demonstrators say that now they're focusing on forming an accountability council for the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.